everybody, and welcome to She's Got Flavor. I'm Utokia Langley, and I am just so excited this evening because I am going to be demonstrating how to make a ribeye dinner for two with some rice and spinach. It's going to be, the steak is going to be just succulent, and we're going to top it with some Béarnaise sauce. It's going to be just like you're in a restaurant, except it's going to cost you a third of the cost. Alright, so let's get started. The first thing I want to let you know is I bought the ribeye steaks from the grocery store, and I spent about $12 to $14 on the two steaks. And what I did was I brought it home and I put it in a container and I marinated it overnight with some Worcestershire sauce and some red wine. You can use sherry or white cooking wine if you like as well, but I chose to use the Worcestershire and the red wine. And you just leave it in the container for 24 hours in the refrigerator. When you're ready to come out and cook it, you want to leave it on the table so that it can get room temperature before you're ready to put it into the pan. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I have a grill pan on my eye, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that on. And I'm going to put it initially on high because I want the grill to be extremely hot right before we put it on, but then we're going to cut it down to about medium so that the steak can cook. Also, I wanted to let you know this is a grill pan, so if you have the longer ones, that's fine. But even if you don't have a grill pan, if you want to do it in a frying pan, you can do that as well. You just won't have the grill marks. Okay, so what we're going to do is I have my steak here that's been marinating for 24 hours in the Worcestershire and the red wine sauce. And I'm just going to put it on our little wooden plate here. And all I'm going to do is season it up. And I'm going to use a little bit of sea salt. Okay. Some fresh ground pepper. We are going to use some garlic and herb seasoning. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip that baby over. And I'm just going to do the same thing. This steak is going to be so good because it's been soaking in that Worcestershire and that red wine. It's nice and tender and juicy already. Alright, so before we put it into our pan, I want to let you know that I also have my rice cooking. And basically all I did was follow the box recipe, and that's just 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice. Put it on high, then cut it down to medium, put a top on it, and it'll cook all by itself. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to put our steak into the grill pan, and again we had it on high heat, and then we're going to cut it down on medium while it's searing up. And this meat is already nice. Woo, you hear that sizzle? Sizzle, sizzle, baby. Alright. This steak is going to be so good. I love the ribeye because it has a lot of fat on it, and fat usually equates to juicy and flavorful anytime you have a steak. Okay, so we're going to let that sizzle up, and what we're going to do is we're going to let it cook for about 10 minutes on each side, maybe about 3 or 4 sides, depending on how you like it. I like mine well done, so I might flip it over 2 or 3 times. Okay, in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and start on our sautéed spinach, and then we're going to come back to our steak and see how we're doing. Okay, so now we're going to work on our spinach, and what I have here is just a ready-packed bag of spinach. It's fresh spinach, and I have put some olive oil, about 2 or 3 teaspoons of olive oil, and about 2 or 3 slivers of butter inside our pan, and I put that on medium heat. And so all I'm going to do is just simply put our spinach into our pan. Just pour it in, and don't worry if it looks like a lot because it's actually going to cook down and be nice and just perfect for you. Alright, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take some chicken broth, and I'm just going to pour in about a 1/4 cup of the chicken broth so that the spinach will be nice and flavorful. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're just going to let it do its magic. We don't have to do anything to this except let it go. Alright guys, so our steak is looking really good. Look at that. Oh my God, look how juicy, and look at that fat, and look how flavorful that looks. And it's nice and tender. It's just coming out just perfect. Look at this. I have to grab it good because it's nice and tender. It might fall off. And look at those grill marks. Doesn't that look just beautiful, guys? And wait until I get the Béarnaise sauce going and top this with the Béarnaise sauce. Oh my God, it is going to be so, so, so delicious. Okay, so the spinach is looking delicious. As I mentioned before, it's going to render down, and I'm just adding a little bit of sea salt to the pot. And then I'm just going to toss that around. As you can see, the chicken broth is in there, just giving the spinach a lot of flavor. And the spinach is going to be nice and juicy to match our nice and juicy steak. Alright guys, so it looks like our rice is done. And again, I just used the box recipe. That is 2 cups of water, 1 cup of rice. And I'm just going to add some butter, a couple slithers of butter. Yeah. The more butter, the merrier. Some sea salt. Oh my God, this steak is smelling so good. Woo! All right. And then I'm going to add some garlic. So we have some sea salt, garlic, and butter that I've added to this rice. And all I'm going to do is just mix it up. Get all that nice flavor inside. Yes, indeed. Oh my goodness, this is, whew, I wish you can smell through the camera. This is so good. All right, so our rice is done, so I'm just going to move this to the side. Set that to the side, and I'm going to set up our saucepan for our Béarnaise sauce. And the Béarnaise sauce that I use is made by McCormick. You can see that it's Béarnaise sauce. And all you need for this sauce is 1 cup of milk and half a stick of butter. It is so easy to make, and let me just tell you, this right here, this is like gold on your steak. It's just the bomb, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut my saucepan on high heat because the sauce is gonna need to come to a boil, and then we're gonna just let it simmer down. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my half a stick of butter, and I just cut the butter up so that it's easier to melt down, because you want to melt your butter down first. Bam, bam, and bam. All right, so I'm going to open up my packet, and then after your butter has melted, all you're going to do is just pour your milk and your powder in together, and then I'm just going to grab me a whisk here so that we can whisk it up. Okay, so it looks like our butter's melted down, so I'm just going to pour our powder right in and pour our milk right over top of that. There we go. So from here, all we have to do is just stir it up. And, you know, I use the directions on the back of the packet. The only thing I do add is a little bit of sea salt when it's almost done. But believe me, this Béarnaise sauce is fantastic. I served it for dinner for my brother-in-law and his friends when they came to our house for a visit. And my brother-in-law, he's so funny. He was so excited about my steak. And he asked me, he's like, where did you get the sauce from? This is like a restaurant sauce. And I just said, you know, it's my secrets, but I'm here and I'm sharing them with you today. I hope that you love it. All right, so all we're going to do is let this come to a boil, and then we're going to let it simmer down. All right, guys, so our steak is basically done. We have our sautéed spinach and our rice, our garlic and butter rice. And one thing I didn't mention is that before I put my steaks into the grill pan, I put a little bit of olive oil in it so that it will have something to cook on. So I'm just going to go ahead and plate my steak. I already have my rice and my spinach in my plate. Look at that, guys. Woo! Yes, indeed. That looks so good. All right, I'm just going to clean my plate up there a little bit. All right, and then the last thing I'm going to do is I have my Marinate sauce, and I'm just going to pour a little bit over the steak. Oh man, guys, this looks so good, but what's more important is that it's going to taste delish. Okay, guys, this is your finished product. You have your steak with Béarnaise sauce, you have your garlic and butter rice, and your sautéed spinach. If you were to go to a restaurant, this meal will cost you for 2 people at least about 60 to 120 bucks, depending on where you go. Now, let's get to the most important part. We've already plated this. let's go ahead and taste this. All right, let's see how good this steak is. Woo! Get a little bit of that Béarnaise sauce. It's right out the pan, guys, so it's hot. This steak is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Try a little bit of spinach. Some rice. Guys, if you're looking to impress someone, this is the meal to do it with. Trust me. I'm going to tear this up in just like 1 second, so I've got to go. She's got flavor. We'll see you later.